Hey guys, welcome to another video that's going to help you define your goals for 2024. So this is like a sort of introspective questions. I love doing these reviews in an unstructured way, not blocking like one full day because your state of minds they vary, right? Like you want to introduce new data, you want to journal, you want to reflect, and you want to create new outputs that will be used in the next couple of days. So I've done the hasty 2024 reviews, like blocking time, that never really worked. Also, like there's alternating activities in my schedule, right? So I really want to review almost every day, like my 2024, and reflect on it through a process that may last 1 to 4 weeks. And the introspective questions are quite helpful here. So I have 20 questions here. I shared it in the description if you want to reflect on these. And yeah, I'll answer these myself and I'll show you some process that's going on through my mind. And in a week or two, I'm going to share my 2025 goals and I'm going to share my full process of how I achieved these new goals, right? How I created these new goals. That's a very valuable output. And I feel that it's about taking multiple techniques as well, not just like one technique, right? It's about gathering all that data and try to make sense out of it and constantly improving your process of not only goal reviewing or data reviewing, 2024 reviewing, and goal setting for 2025. So this document's available. The first question is, how has your theory of value creation evolved over the years? So it starts with evolution, market philosophy. So these are seasoned solo founders. Just not solo founders, but seasoned founders. Okay, so fundamental assumptions for early day. Have you had to unlearn, consider the patterns of it? Yeah. So me, I've had to let go of my whole team. I guess that's been the biggest change, right? That fundamentally changed my value creation philosophy. It's only been getting stronger. I almost like 100% of my content nowadays is just pure value, just like this video I'm doing right now. So yeah, that has been evolving for sure. Like back in the days, I was mostly into cold calling and selling on people. Nowadays, it's pure value, right? I've also shifted from the agency model to being more diversified with micro revenue this year, as I've mentioned multiple times. But it's also about building this content. And back then, I was publishing some contents, but not as much as right now. I'm also learning to hack attention because there's a bunch of bullshit out there, and I feel that my content can add a massive value to people, and I need to put it out on the scene, right? So sell my soul a little bit to have this valuable content reach out people. So that there's some selfishness in that. There's some unselfishness as well. These questions are quite long, by the way, and they have like a piece of data at the end. Claude did them. In what ways has your competitive mode become more philosophical than tactical? Huh. And how does this influence your strategic decisions, reflect on your unique advantages that transcend traditional business metrics? That's interesting because it's very much related to AI. Moats nowadays, I've identified a couple, right? There's branding, there's humor, there's rapping, because rapping is swearing. Swearing is one mode, right? Like being your authentic self and not being scared to think what others think about you. Like old time PR is gone. You know, that shit doesn't exist anymore. You need to be yourself. And that's an AI mode because AIs will be politically correct, right? There'll be like the PR robots that you're seeing, NPCs that you're seeing on a daily basis here. Oh, front of this entrepreneur magazine, you know, like that's just fakery. So my mode, yeah, I'd like to say this brain of mine that is like fading with AI, right? Like I still have a super brain, I still have that human magic, but AI, man, in the knowledge workers world, it's just taking humongous parts of this market and so dangerous, you know. As a very smart and talented individuals, I often ponder that, oh, AIs could do like what I just did, but in better quality and 100x faster and multiply it 1,000 times faster than I do. So yeah, my mode. I mean, that's a good question. It's an amazing question that would necessitate like one entire video. There's various human modes, right? Like Current mode include just like testing tons of softwares, making videos about them, understanding them, and then deploying them. These systems. I think that's a mode in itself. Let's go with the third questions. Personal operating system. Which elements of your personal operating systems have remained constant over a decade, and which ones have you deliberately redesigned? Think about your core decision making frameworks and daily rhythms. Hmm. My operating systems has pretty much stayed similar through the last 8/10 years as an entrepreneur. It's been self improvement since day one, right? It's always been about how can I get better? How can I stay true to myself and analyze myself, dive deep into some negative shit that I have, negative patterns, right? And fix them. It's always been pretty much the same. Some philosophies have changed over the years. Like I've been getting constant data about some topics. For example, my lack of patience in business might pay off, but in relationships it might not, right? So there's exceptions like this. I think over the years I've gone wiser. The biggest increments in my mind and what makes me like more mature and wise than most people, I think it's just the endurance races and yeah, these tough challenges that I've gone through. It really like changes your mind, right? It makes you less of a bitch. It makes you more mature and it makes you smarter. So yeah, if there's a recommendations, if you want to skyrocket your growth, accelerate your growth, do like very painful endurance events. I think that will make you that will like project you 10, 20 years in the future. And as a result, yeah, I could say I have deep wisdom right now. I've always had deep wisdom, even in my 20s, because I've launched so many business and I've always been challenging myself, probably 10 to 100x the amount of challenge that someone normal would challenge themselves or even a normal founder. So the result of that is once you feed a biohacked and smart brain with a lot of data, it crunches that data and makes sense out of it. And therefore you become better at decision making, right? And you just become better in pretty much every facet of your life, not just business. Was a long ass answer, but I didn't change much. One thing that I would change though is yeah, that patience thing. We're about to have kids, and I think I am a probably 7 on 10 good dad. I'd like to be a 9 on 10 good dad. So that will necessitate drastic acceleration in me for next year. How has your relationship with uncertainty evolved, and what new frameworks have you developed for navigating ambiguity, both macro uncertainty and day-to-day operational ambiguity? Business wise, I mean, I'm chilled, because the big Black Swan event was COVID, right? And that shook me up business wise. And since that time, I'm more diversified. So, and I know my capability. Like, for example, if I've hustled in the last 2 weeks and I've generated lots of money in the past couple of days just because of these efforts. So, I know that I can generate money on command anytime that I want, which is a super skill. So, at this point it's like more insuring myself, backing myself in case shit goes wrong. Like for example, if I break my neck in a motocross accident or some shit. But business wise, I'm good, I think. Also, you might know, guys, that I'm answering these questions. I might be kidding myself right now, right? It's my conscious mind responding these, but my subconscious, it digests these questions, which are great questions, by the way, and I might have different insights in a couple of days from now. That's how the brain works. Solo dynamics and leverage. What unique advantage of being a sole founder have you discovered that contradict the conventional wisdom about needing co-founders? Reflect on the hidden. How's your approach to leverage technological, financial evolve beyond scaling methods? Um, Founder dynamics. Yeah, I don't want the solo thing because conventional wisdom. Yeah, I don't want to emphasize on the solo thing because technically I'm not solo. I have tens of hundreds of AIs. working on that. So someone just accepted me in a Zoom call, and I had to leave. Founder dynamics and leverage. So okay, yeah, I replaced my full team with AIs. It's so much better from a profits perspective, from a productivity perspective, from a being ready for the future perspective, from a stress perspective. I'm so much more happier. And scale has become much more of a possibility related to the second question, right? Talking about the macro environment, like AI has just completely changed the landscape. And if you're not downscaling your numbers of employees and upscaling your numbers of AI agents, you're just simply missing out. Deep market understanding. What contrarian views about your market have proven correct? Da, da, da. I think I've been wrong. I think I've been right on most of my positions. I didn't think that cold email would be bitch slapped that hard this year. Um, I knew that it would stop at some point, just like this AI commenting thing on LinkedIn. I mean, party's gonna stop at some point, right? And growth hacks, by their nature, most of them do not scale. What does scale is like a great product, right? And referrals and so forth. So it didn't surprise me, but did shook me. Yeah, I had to move my ass like mid this year, like starting to change stuff, right? The definition of true competition evolved beyond direct competitors to include adjacent possibilities and customer alternative. Think about the broader competition for customer attention. Yeah, that is crazy. I often talk about the attention hacking economy. I mean, it's getting worse and worse. If you're a content creator and you're new and you want to get in that market, I mean, maybe the best time was to start 2 years ago. Some people were smart back then and understood that and started doing the work that really mattered and that would scale, right? These are smart people like Justin Welsh and so forth. I wasn't that smart. I was focused on scaling a fucking agency like everyone was telling me to. Oh, I'll get a bunch of employees, maybe have an exit. I never had that fucking exit. Like that is total bullshit. Like very few people will be attracted to an agency. Is like a 1% type of thing. Most agencies don't have a solid mode. They don't have recurring clients. So the agency model is nice because you can learn and you can experiment. But yeah, as a oh, this will scale. Oh, you'll make more revenue, have more clients, you'll have a acquisition offers. No, that doesn't scale. Humans hiring humans don't scale, and most companies out there they do not want to pay 10 to 100K per month for your agency. They're actively thinking of cutting out costs, right, on a daily basis. And yeah, you really need to have something special, aka like me right now being an AI growth hacker, testing out new tools on a daily basis, right? I manage my special ops. And talking about a mode, this is a mode, right? Like being solo and being in charge of your special ops and having your AIs amplify these special ops, these experiments, these growth experiments of yours, that is a moat. And that would be a reason why someone would constantly pay me on a monthly basis, is that I constantly have new experiments for them, which is not the case in most agencies. Most agencies like plug and play, set it and forget it, right? So just pay us 10K on a monthly basis. Everything will be fine. We'll do the work as usual, but they won't improve their work. It's just like maintenance, which is why people won't pay for that. It's total bullshit that most some companies will pay you forever. Just set it and forget it. I mean, if it's working, if it's bringing leads, okay, but most don't even know how to fucking close leads nowadays, even like bigger corporations. So it's a tough call. Then how do you want to get into these big corporation? If you're like most, it's luck or it's a referral. It's like your uncle that works at IBM, which is bullshit, by the way. This doesn't scale. Most humans are not ready for the future. Most founders are not ready for the future that's coming. The black swan events like COVID, they're just going to happen more and more. And if you're not innovating, if you're not in the future, if you're not constantly testing out new tools, you'll be replaced. So anyway, okay, building features, reshaping customer behavior and expectation, deeper patterns of customer value creation. So that I've sort of answered. Unique insights gained about not obvious to newcomers with fresh capital and resources, considered a subtle experience-based knowledge that's hard to replicate. What's not obvious? I mean, I just dropped a bunch of shit that's not obvious. Most of what I drop, I think, is not obvious to most. I know that my audience is like similar people to myself. It's not like old schmucks that should learn. These comfortable folks. I don't know where they are. Certainly, most of them won't listen to these videos. So I'm trying to constantly find out stuff that is not obvious. But if I can drop another piece of wisdom here, golden nugget is that, yeah, testing other business models, not just like sponsors on podcast or YouTube AdSense paying you or referrals, right? Like starting your own micro SaaS with apps such as these here, Bolt, like a podcast platforms that connects guests and hosts. This is becoming like super affordable and easy to do, right? Bolt.new that you can check out, vo.dev, vice versa, replit.com, all of these apps that will create statuses for you. And that wasn't obvious or even doable a couple of years ago, a couple of months ago. So that's an insight. Every entrepreneur and founder should not only go solo, race to the bottom when it comes to employees, and race to the top when it comes to hiring AI agents and building their own automations, but they should have multiple streams of income. And one of them that is becoming so obvious and so affordable and so doable is SaaS. Building your SaaS with these apps and starting charging very small prices to clients. And that will be like scalable MRR, hopefully. Most people don't know about these apps, right? It's an entry offer. It makes you look pretty pro. And yeah, they can scale to your agency slash consulting services. That's pretty cool. Risk and opportunity assessment. How has your risk appetite evolved, and what new categories of risk have you identified that weren't apparent in your early years? Think about both obvious and subtle forms of business risk. I mean, I am more on the risk taking side of it right now. The thing is that if you're not taking any risks nowadays, you'll be left out 100%. This market is moving so fast and is killing and eliminating founders that are not moving their asses so quick that you wouldn't believe it. I mean, most of these lazy founders um, got comfortable in referrals, right? And like family business. But everything is like getting so much more competitive nowadays. And you absolutely need to have your risk on the, well, depending on left or right side, but let's say the graph is like this. Well, yeah. Anyway, that your risk tolerance need to be to the roof is what I'm saying. Um, it has most often being like that, but I certainly got comfortable when I had 30K plus MRR agencies and bunch of humans. That was pretty toxic. So all the fucking outsource your stuff, traction by Gino Wickman, like fuck that. That doesn't scale. Don't outsource to humans. Don't hire more humans. Stop being lazy and code your own system. Get into the age of AI. Financial philosophy. Well, there was a second one. Opportunities that I deliberately, deliberately. That's a complicated word because my brain's like deliverability. Deliberately not choosing to pursue. Many. I've shut down many of my companies and experiments this year. I probably shut down like 5 to 10, right? Because I was not seeing any tractions. Some of the niche businesses that I would have with my agency, like Sastronomic, I've shut it down. I've shut down the idea of having like a hold co of companies. That was pretty useless and just time wasting. Didn't invest much time in my moonshots to my great chagrin, but I will pursue these this year. So yeah, I've shut down a bunch of businesses. I can't even remember some of them because they were such micro startups, but I also started some ventures not so long ago, and I'm not that bullish on them anymore. But yeah, that may change. I'm still bullish on my masterminds at level96.com, lvl96.com, and yeah, let's see where I can bring them next year. Same for podcasterslist.com and so forth. Selling list. How has your relationship with profitability evolved beyond conventional metrics to include more nuanced measures of business sales? Consider your personal definitions of financial success and sustainability. Well, it's just nice to be solo and having most of the cash for me, right? Like back then, I was running a charity nonprofit, like helping all these third world countries, people get some money. Um, and that felt nice. Actually, at some point, it was like I didn't even feel joy in paying these folks because they would fucking with my brain. And yeah, just one gets on a hedonic treadmill and doesn't feel any good, like paying some people and helping them in their lives because they weren't helping my business much. You know, it's like, oh, today, yes, I'm going to help you. Um, and yeah, that wasn't scalable. So yeah, that certainly changed and have this money for myself and invested better than these people would in other ventures that can help the world better. So I think that is more aligned. What unconventional financial strategies have you developed that might seem counterintuitive to traditional business wisdom? Think about unique approaches to capital allocation. I don't have much like side investment things. I think one should invest 100% in what they're controlling, and that's their business, right? They don't control stocks in the market. So I would avoid that bullshit. That's my personal philosophy. Personal evolution. How has your definition of work life integration? When am I having a meeting? Pretty soon. So, okay, I'm gonna hurry up here. How has your definition of work-life integration evolved beyond conventional balance to create unique synergies? I don't believe in work-life bullshit. I love working, and that's my life. What aspects of your founder identity? And by the way, I'm exaggerating that. I do have a fun life outside. Believe in like diversifying your activities and having fun, but I love working. That's at least 80% of my life. What aspects of your founder identity have you had to shed to reinvent? I don't have had to shed much so far. Um, yeah, some stuff like saying, "Oh, these employees" and swearing and all of that. Maybe I'd love to do less of that. I think it's good for content and shit. But yeah, maybe just being a nicer guy and having a better impact on the planet Earth. You know, and positively influencing people. That's like throwing. I'm throwing my net in the the lake here, hoping to catch something with that. It's yeah, throwing that on my subconscious. Let's see what it can do with that. How has your vision for long-term impact evolved? Blah blah blah. Think about the deeper purpose that has emerged for. Yeah, I don't have much of that. I mean, for the podcast, it's free, right? It's therapeutic for most people that I interview. Like yesterday, I had a shitty pod or two. Yeah, two shitty pods, and hoping it was therapeutic for the people that did them. Because for my audience, probably gonna be a pain to listen to those. But most of my podcasts is my hope is to help um, listeners right in their journey. Founders, I think like founders and entrepreneurs are the best people on this planet Earth. They're mostly responsible for the health and the peace on this planet Earth. So that is still my vision with the pod. Hopefully, we'll get more views and we'll achieve that pretty soon. What unique insights about building sustainable value have you gained that contradict popular startup wisdom or reflect on patterns you've observed about lasting business value? I think most of the content I'm building right now will disappear in the ether, which is challenging, right? And I did this experiment the other day. I messaged people in my first connections on LinkedIn, hey, do you want to do a podcast, right? And they get that first message. And most of them, well, at least 25 to 30% of them didn't even remember my ass, which proves that they're lazy as fuck, right? They won't even click on my profile. They don't even remember my name and my face, which is pretty bad. And I spent like literally 30 minutes with them. I remember all of them, all of them. I remember the 2,500 guests that I have on my podcast because I biohack, because I do my fucking work, you know. And these people, I mean, they've been on my pod, they don't even remember me. So imagine like my content, this content right now. It's longer form, right? So, and you might have tuned in. It's probably not your first time that you've tuned in, but it's just like, oh, how am I impacting the world? You know, like, so I need again to hack the attention even more. Need to be a bitch and compete with these media bitches that are using like really strong headlines and really trying hard to hack your attention, like these Mr. Beast type of people. And yeah, I sort of need to adapt myself to that, else no one will watch my shit and I won't have any impact. By the way, I'm not like Mr. Truth, right? And like Mr. Virtue, like by doing that you're diminishing your virtues in order to get to the tops. It's always like a trade-off, right? There's a right number of how much you should sell your soul via the impact you're willing to have. Probably like 80% impactful, truthful, and 20% selling your soul. Because if you go 100% for impact, I mean, you can go for high quality. That's probably the best route, right? Like just building the best shit ever and really geeking out on quality. But even if you do that, there's high chances that no one reads your shit. The right way also is to monetize on your way there, because capital is energy, right? So you need to use that resource carefully. And I'm probably not answering the question, but it's a nice little tangent here. So yeah, I'll go more on the quality route for next year, building higher quality material, and let's hope that I can influence people and buy some Facebook ads, for example, to spread them throughout India. Is like cheap views, right? And I'm very bullish on India. If I can influence a couple of entrepreneurs for cheap there, why not? Future orientation. Which emerging trends have you seen that others are missing? Positioning yourself to leverage them. Yeah, I'm all about that, but I think I need to, yeah, like with the AI stuff, I'm very contrarian, future oriented, but also like present results oriented. But I feel that most people that I send my message to is like Chinese, because they're so way back, like they're probably living in 2010, like most entrepreneurs acting like if COVID never happened, like bringing it under the sand. They're acting like if AI isn't a thing. They're like an ostrich burying their head in the sand. So me, my challenge is not like trying to get an edge. It's like take this future message of mine and bring it to the present in a pretty little package that they can consume. That is pretty much the direction I'll be taking for next year. How's your time horizon for strategic decisions evolve, and what ultra long term bets are you making now? Yeah, again, I am way too much in the future, so need to bring myself to the present. But next year, I'll be working on my moonshot, which is health stuff, right? Biotech stuff. That's my passion. Also, like, hopefully, I'd work mostly with like health tech clients in my growth hacking side of businesses. So, extending biological age, tracking it, advancing research, diminishing diseases, increasing performance, right? Is what I'm about. Not dying like Brian Johnson, right? Taking care of my family, friends, close ones, and hopefully make these technologies and this value so cheap for people that it can be widely adopted and people can live drastically better lives. That would be epic, and I need to put my ass on fire and start doing that, to run in that direction, because money makes you comfortable, like money you spend in luxury, you spend in on your lifestyle, and then next thing you know, you're just doing the same shit on a daily basis. You've stopped experimenting, you stop pushing discomfort on yourself, and that's pretty bad. Also, moonshots, they pay a fuck ton, right? Just that they take a lot of time. It might be a 5 year ultra run in which you don't see much people in the mountains. It's very lonely. It's like psychotic, right? To build a venture in which you're solo and you believe in your mission, and only like 5 to 10 years down the road you get validation. That's why moonshots are so fucking hard. So what could be an action item for me to actually spend some time on my moonshot and really spend some time on this, because it's always been on my goals list, and it's not like I haven't spent any time on these moonshots, but I think I got some PTSD from my first moonshot, which was Velox was my nootropic company, right? And we had to shut it down. I had that one with a partner. So, and yeah, Velox itself was a nootropic. It was a bold first business, but there were some moonshot aspects to it, right? We really wanted to revolutionize health and cognitive performance, dementia, Alzheimer, which is why it really saddened me to shut that one down. Maybe I haven't even processed that trauma of mine. So maybe yeah, digest that. I don't know, like maybe do a video or call my ex co-founder, talk about that with my psychotherapist. I'm talking to him today. Um, and also, second, put moonshots in my calendar, but that wouldn't work. Maybe start small with like building a SaaS tool to track age is what I've been doing also lately. Promote like preventive medicine lab.com, which is my business to help people reduce their biological age, like a DFY service. I'm promoting that to my high intensity workout videos. And yeah, probably send more cold emails regarding that, probably sending more LinkedIn outreach regarding that, which feels odd, right? It's like, oh, Mr. Growth is now Mr. Health. Well, I've always been Mr. Health. You know, if you follow my background, I've always been a biohacker before, or as much as I was a founder, but certainly much more than I'm a growth hacker. I'm much more of a health guy, a performance guy than I am a growth hacker guy. So just that the growth hacker thing pays the bills way more, right? Um, so yeah, probably do more of that next year. More content about this, more content about health. I'm on a journey to bodybuild nowadays, so that is pretty fun, and I think people should know about hacks on how to bodybuild. It's a pretty cool thing. I just started that journey. I'm still slim as fuck, you know, but I'll get big, very big, very fast. So let's see how that goes. But yeah, I want to start working on my moonshot, and that implies that I should start small with like one specific project, the SaaS project, which might go into some funded type of activities with some partners that I have, although not that bullish on funding, but that might grow unto itself, bootstrapped, who knows, with my growth hacking methods. And if I see money in these business, then I will spend more of my time. And who knows, do I need like a consciousness strike in the face, like someone close to me getting sick? That has been happening like this year. Or I've got like a big slap in the face also, finishing my 100K race. Like my immune system was really low and was like coughing for fucking a month and a half. That was pretty crazy, right? That's behind me right now. And like, oh, just holly jolly, hopping, Christmas spirit type of guy nowadays. But I totally forgot about that. So health is always number one, right? Like, do I need to make myself more conscious of that? Probably. I really need to reflect on that. As you know, guys, this is like introspective questions, and sometimes it's okay if you don't have the answer to these questions. It might take your subconscious various days and weeks and months to digest all that information and come back with an answer. But what I know for that last point, and it's good that we're ending on that note, is that I really want to start a moonshot, which implies 10 on 10 level of risks. My risk tolerance needs to step up. My stress digestion levels needs to step up. I need to become drastically different when it comes to my mindset and how I handle these types of risks, right? I need to have a steady flow of income, financing that, especially if I'm going to bootstrap. I already have sort of that. There needs to be the right timing. And yeah, I need to spend more of my time doing that. This objective is really important for me because I feel that I've been working on like useless stuff in the past year. Just yeah, staying afloat with cash flow and financing this lifestyle of mine. I want more, you know, cash wise, impact wise. I can do more. So the question is like, what do I need to spend time and probably even full time on a moonshot, right? A bunch of things that I listed today. So revenue, impact, obsession, right? So I don't want to end this with like, let's see when that will happen, because that leaves it to the circumstances, but I'm definitely going to push in that direction, even if that means more stress, more hours worked. But yeah, I really, if that would be one of my top goals for 2025, that would be one of them. But before that, like I said, the mindset thing needs to happen, like being more patient and drastically changing who I am. You know, I still don't like some part of me, like getting angry, getting stressed out. Even now, as I'm talking to you, I'm playing with my hands, you know, so diminishing some of that OCD. Life and objectives about give and take, right? So I will have to make some sacrifices to get there. So, did you guys like this video? Here, the last section is just some AI prompts to consider the whole thing we've done together. Not obvious insights, right? Document both your current position and how it has evolved. So, journaling while doing these questions. Challenge your own established thinking. As you've seen today, it has worked on my mind. Consider how these insights might apply to in future market conditions. So hope you guys like that. Hope you guys are in a reflective state right now. And if you have any questions for that specific videos and making your objectives for next year, you let me know. It's been nice doing that and showing you like inside my brain how I think and towards this introspection and how I make potential conclusions as a founder. Peace out, guys.